This is The Real Shift with Templeton Walker,
and Kristen Cantrell,
where we break down all things real broker, why we both decided to move our businesses to real brokerage. We interview top agents from across the nation, like you're going to hear today.
Well,
We're back.
We're back, guys.
We're back. Intro already happened. We're back.
We're back.
So, episode 2, we want to really break down kind of your backstory, my backstory, what led us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
And how it's been pretty successful.
I think so.
I'd say so too. I think I really want to focus on, like, guys, the reason why, at least for me personally, we were just talking about this. I'm so excited for this podcast because it gets to speak to the exact avatar that I want to speak to, which is agents across the nation that want financial freedom.
Yes.
They want to do more revenue, more deals, and create some sort of passive income.
Yes.
And we talked about this morning on the phone, was like, Kristen, I've built rental properties for 15 years now, and my rev share has exceeded a decade of collecting rental properties. And a lot of people get into real estate because they're like, oh, I want rentals and I want passive income. And what you realize, it's not as passive as you thought, and it's not as easy as you thought.
Yeah.
And to now be in this model and to know how powerful it is and that I can share that with agents, I'm all in.
Well, and I think the powerful thing of your story is it took you so many years to build that. And one thing that you'd said to me was, yeah, and I did that in like 2 years at Real.
Exactly. With no risk.
That's insane. And he doesn't try, you guys. If you remember from the intro, he's just like, oh yeah, like and I think you've said it before, is like, you're just good at like inviting people to the party. Yeah. And really, like, I will tell you, I am on agent attraction calls for years now. People that are really good people and invite their master inviters tend to do really well in this model.
You know it so much better, Kristen. And like, I honestly want you to coach me some, because I'm still like learning all this. Because you were like a recruiter, you built a big organization at EXP prior. Yeah. Like, you saw the model sooner. Like, how did you see, that was 16, 17 that you were in it?
No, that was in 2020. And I did not seek out a cloud-based model at all. I was a recruiter for an independent brokerage for 5 years here in Chandler, Arizona. So my job was to recruit and retain. And I was coached in a way that was not a way that I actually ended up recruiting. It was more like, hey, take this list and cold call, and here's your script. And I hated it.
What was the script?
Oh, it was like a John Cheplack script that was like, hey, I've been following your business and it looks like you're really killing it. And I would love to, I don't know, something like stupid like that.
So
and
compliment.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
And then it was me lying. And so I can't lie, you guys. Like, if you know me, I'm just like, gosh, this feels like shit. And so I would go down the list. I would start like at the bottom because I was terrified of like the top producers, which you guys, so many times when you look at a brokerage list, there's like so little people that are producing. It's crazy. But I would call these people, and that out of like, you know, however many, I would get like one weird person that would show up at an appointment. And I was like, I freaking hate this. And so I was like, what could I do to change it? And my idea was, I want to start a mastermind called Moms in Real Estate, because I had a newborn and a 1-year-old, and I wanted to be around other moms. And that was like my like light bulb moment that like I can create the space and invite people I want to be in community with, and then I can recruit them if they're looking to move. All I want to do is build relationships. And that was like kind of the first thing that I started doing when I started curating spaces.
See, and the way you've built community, that's like, it's you go from recruiting to attracting, right? And you're just attracting them to this collective, or it was Connect and Cultivate, now Hello Culture. Yeah. And that's a business within itself. Yeah. And what I really love about Real is like, the reason why I never looked at the downline model or any of it is because I was always crushing it on the investing side. So I was like, if I could go make this over here, why I'm not going to even.
Oh, can we unpack that? I feel like I hear people say this to me all the time. They're like, well, where I really make money is when I go and sell a house. Right. So what would you say to that?
I would say, great. Every month, you're going to have to go do that again and again and again and again. Yeah. And that's great. Your active income. I call it my microwave money and my crock pot money. Yeah. My crock pot money is that long-term, passive, reoccurring. You know, those are my rentals, and now it's really my rev share that I'm excited about. But you have to be patient with it. Yes. But I'm telling you right now, on the 15th of every month, I make less money on rev share than my active businesses. But it's my favorite check to get every month, or deposit.
Totally. I love the way you just said that, like the crock pot and the microwave.
So my microwave money, I'm cooking every month, right? Yeah. But if I get hit by a bus, the truth is my brand is so predicated on me and my Instagram and, hey, send me deals, it would go away, if I'm being honest. And so it's essentially like this ATM. It's a cash machine that can create cash, that I can create extra money that I can go invest, which is awesome. And me and Denise and the kids get to live a really great life on that. But there's like this Japanese proverb that says like the community that doesn't plant seeds today for trees they'll never see will never, thrive.
Yeah.
And so I'm planting seeds right now with RevShare and with rental properties and all these passive sort of things that, yes, make me less money today.
Yeah.
But they're going to grow into these like huge trees that cast shade and, whatever the analogy wants to be, that so many people are going to get to enjoy outside of me.
Yeah. And that is such a huge thing when it comes to like building these other income streams. Like sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, how did you, move to Real? I moved to Real in May of this last year. So not even a full year. And you already have, I think I have 267 agents. And I'm like, it's not like that just happened. That's 10 years of me planting relationship seeds, you guys. Like 10 years of building like a trustworthy brand and name.
But can you speak to it? That was about your network size at EXP, and it took you 5 or 6 years? Or 4 years?
It took me 5 years. I was there. When I left, I had 250 agents. I had built it to 350, and I lost a group of guys that had built this awesome network, and I lost them to Real about a year before I left.
And and then we talked about on episode 1, us starting to collaborate and communicate.
Yeah.
And me at that coffee just saying, hey, if you ever move to Real, I'd love to, I raised my hand.
Totally.
So there's a few things that started to spur it, but like, what has been the difference in building here versus building there? Like, just to call it what it is.
So I loved building at EXP. I had such a great time. I will tell you, like, when I first went in, I went kicking and screaming because I loved our independent brokerage, but I decided to go in with an open mind, and I just listened to everybody and watched what like I thought was the cool people and what they were doing, because they weren't just focused on where's my next deal. They were building out these really, really great businesses. And so I just remember like seeing a girl, her name's Chauncey, and she was talking about these communities that she was building, and I was like, that's it. That's my value proposition. I want to build communities, and I'll be able to attract agents that way. And the difference was I did it pretty good in the beginning, but then it stopped. Like nobody wanted to hear about it anymore. And I was building this nationwide network through Moms in Real Estate. I was in relationship with people all over the place. They were buying my retreat tickets. They were buying my conference tickets. They were buying my coaching program. Like they were literally, they loved working with me, but EXP was like no, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, damn it. Like why? It's so great. And so I just kind of like got burnt out on it, honestly. And I put it on the back burner while I was building out Connect and Cultivate, like to bring it nationwide. And so the difference was when I moved, I had all these people that I never knew, like that were like, hey, I actually want to learn about Real. Like I wasn't interested in that, but I actually am in that one. And I think it's two totally different cultures. And that was the other thing when I put on the back burner. Again, like great experience at EXP, but it really, really matters what organization you're in. And not that I didn't have a good organization. I loved a lot of the people in my organization. But when you're out bringing in, like my ideal client is a producing agent and or team lead. And so I had to have, like when I chose partners at Real, I wanted people that like, they were great for new agents. They were great for producing agents. They were for people building. They were for people that wanted to, start podcasts, all the things. I had to make sure I had all the right partners, because I really think like that was a make or break there, because they're so siloed.
Yeah. And that's what I love about what we have at Real is like the silo can't happen.
No.
So when we say one real, one network, one community, it's a very real thing.
It is.
And so that's been nice. I like that. The other thing that I really love, and you made the point on this, is like, I don't want to sell something I'm not holistically lined up with.
Yes.
Like I make enough money in my other businesses.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to go sell something extra. I want to. I love making extra money. I love making passive income.
Yeah.
But what am I sacrificing, or what am I signing up for? What am I co-signing?
Yeah.
And with Real, the culture, the leadership, Sharon, Tamir, the entire executive team, my sponsor, Kelly Cook, just everyone that I'm in collaboration with, I really enjoy. Like I like them as people. It's not like, hey, let's just go make money together.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing you said that I wanted to point on is like, when you made them move, you weren't having to hunt people down. They were calling you.
Like crazy.
They're and that's what I told you. I was like, hey, as long as you announce and you make sure people know that you're open and you're willing and you're ready to have conversations, they're going to reach out to you. Because that was my experience.
Yeah. Well, how did you come to Real?
Okay, so 13 years in, I was a big realtor, realized running a team was not what I wanted to do. I learned the investing side. I saw those settlement statements and I was like, ooh, I want to do that. So I've done really well with that for a long time. So traditional was kind of on the back burner. And then in December of 22, I saw this gap in the market because the market really went wrong in June of 22. So we were about 6 or 7 months in and agents were struggling. They were craving guidance. They were craving revenue. And because I have this skill set on the investing side that I teach agents, I was like, there's a conduit there through the right brokerage that I could recruit and earn. Because I've always been able to like draw a crowd because my social and my energy. Yeah. Like I can get everyone running a direction and everyone will be like, why are we running? I'm like, I don't know.
You made everyone dance at our last event.
Yeah. Like I just have fun. Right. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to draw a crowd and I want to be able to monetize that without having a real estate team.
Yes.
So I have great friends at EXP and I met with them. I met with other independent brokerages, 100% brokerages, and I looked at Real. And once I finally like spent the time to dig into the analytics of it, I was like, oh, I always tell people, once you see the math, the math is better. Yeah. The math is just better. It just Before you even add in the culture, the national network, there's so many benefits. So that's why I decided to move. I got loud about it, brought some agents over, and then again, got distracted by my investment business that like my microwave money, which really prints a lot of money. Yeah. So I got distracted. Yeah. But over 2 years, I still did enough of saying, hey, people calling me, people reaching out. So my network now, I have 38 or 39 personals on the front. Yeah. And it's like 520, 530 people in the network. Awesome. Which is so crazy because admittedly, I have not worked hard on it. Yeah. So now that I'm like all fired up, I'm like, oh, I see what I can go create. So that's kind of was my journey with it. Yeah.
How did you get aligned with Kelly?
So choosing a sponsor really matters. Yeah. In the investing world, because Real's awesome. They really allow us to be entrepreneurial. Yeah. Like they're not trying to red tape you every which way on your investment business or title companies or lending or coaching, the way some brokerages do. Yeah. So it was a fit there, but I also wanted to stand out in the network or like in the community I lined up with. Yeah. So I was friends with, and still am friends with like Matthew Potter, Ryan Zolan, Steve Trang, those guys that are there. They're all investors and they kind of do what I do. Yeah. So I was like, well, if I just go that route, I'm going to be another investor. So that was nothing against them. Yeah. But Kelly is a traditional realtor. Yes. And he actually is a great investor. A lot of people don't even realize. But he's mostly known for running a great traditional real estate team. Yeah. And so kind of what I do, it seems like magic to realtors sometimes. Like if they're just realtors. Yes. They're like, wait,
It's so true.
So I wanted to be the shiny, like, whoa, what's this guy doing over here, right? So I just wanted to be in the right crowd where my skill set was really unique. Yep. So, and then Kelly was just amazingly supportive. And he has a lot of skills that I don't have. Like he's so put together and just like buttoned up, and I'm like pretty squirrely. So like that helped. And then he introduced me to Ryan Zook. Yep. Do you call him Zook or Zook?
Zook.
Zook. Okay, cool. Zook, who's helped me so many times. So many times. And we become great friends. And Tim Macy and Brad McCollum and just the whole community. So to answer the question, Kelly delivered a ton of value, but I also wanted to be the outlier in the group. Yeah. Because like I don't really do what the rest of them do. Yeah.
Well, and it really like aligns with what I said earlier. Like when I was picking a sponsor, I needed people that had different strengths than me because guess what? When you're bringing people in and your strength is X, but you need X, Y, and Z, you need to make sure that you're finding those people to fulfill those roles.
And that's why I love what Real's done with the co-sponsorship too, because it allows people like almost to a fault. I'll like suggest it to people that aren't even thinking about it sometimes where I'm like, hey, you should really co-sponsor, right? Yeah. Because I also have like this abundant thought of like, well, now I have a second person in addition to the brokerage supporting them. I have a second person that is an outlet for them to help. Yes. So it's not all riding on me.
Yeah. Co-sponsorship can be fantastic.
It can, but like strategically, I think sometimes if someone wants to 100% sponsor you, you should do that, right?
Yeah,
and
I
just
agree.
sign up for whatever that looks like.
Yeah, every case is so different.
But yeah, when you were considering me, I was so thankful. And I do think I have like agents right now need to learn how to make additional income.
Yeah.
It's a hard market. File count is down.
Yeah.
And I do 90% of my files off market.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can learn that skill and just learn how to do one extra deal a month,
yeah,
and make an extra 10, 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
That's a really good skill. And I think that's something that we talked about where I was like, hey, Kristen, if people need to learn investing,
yeah,
I got you.
Which we already did a great investment workshop. Those are always my favorite.
Yeah. So like, I know how to speak to, I don't ever sell anything I don't know how to talk about.
Yeah.
Like if someone said, hey, Temp, how do you go crush a $100 million real estate team, be the best team leader ever? I'd be like, I have no idea.
But I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy, right? Yeah. And we have the right people that we can connect.
Yeah.
So,
and I think even talking more about like like picking your sponsor is so important, because if somebody hasn't been at a model like this, this is kind of the conversation why it's different at Real, because you have one Real and like everybody like helps everybody and you don't have the silos. Like, yes, it's one Real, but when you're picking a sponsor, like the reason it's important is because I look at it like this, like if I call you and I'm like, hey, like I actually need some like help, will you get on a call with me and like bust through this? You would have said yes anyways, I'm sure, but I know like now I'm financially aligned to you and my success is your success. I don't want to feel bad when I'm calling you, and now I don't, right? And so
you never should, right?
No, and so same thing with like everybody, and all of my partners at Real have literally been on so many calls with me that it's been so awesome to build. Like I'm a huge person. I do so many different things that I cannot. I didn't mean to say I'm a huge person. I do so many things. I'm a huge person on figuring out leverage. You are a huge person, though.
Come on,
I'm
not. Don't downplay
but it. I'm a big advocate of like, how can I find leverage so that I can do all these things? And what's really cool is when you're strategically aligned and business partners with all these different people at a brokerage, it's not all on you. You know, I went to Florida for 2 weeks and I was like, I do not want to work at all. So I texted Randy and Dustin, who are two of my partners. I was like, hey, all of my agent attraction calls, is it okay if you take them while I'm gone? And they were like, absolutely. So they got on calls and I had like 3 people sign up when I was gone. That's awesome. I was on the beach doing nothing.
You had a mastermind that I spoke at for you.
Yeah, and you did.
And Jesse ran it.
Yes.
So you have great people. I think us as human beings too often are unwilling to let our friends help us.
Yes.
And what's really cool though is like human beings are human beings, and when there's a financial incentive there,
yeah,
they're really willing to help.
Absolutely.
If you're willing to raise your hand and be like, hey, can we create some connection here? I need some help.
Yeah.
And then what I love too is like when you're lined up with the right people and they all have an abundant mindset, like how many times have you and I been talking to similar people and they're like, hey, gosh, we'd love Kristen. I'm like, well, you name Kristen.
Yeah.
Like,
it's great.
I think the first person, we have a really good agent coming over and he's going to name us 50-50 because I've been working on him for like a year, but you'll still earn on that. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, but most of the time I'm just like, oh, if you're considering both of us, just name Kristen.
That's the cool thing too. I love this model, and some people like will have negative things to say about it, but I'm like, no, that's actually like really, really cool.
No, I love it. And like, just to get down to the brass tacks, like I think people are curious. I don't mind sharing what I earn on stuff because it just is what it is. But like last month I was almost at 12 grand of passive income, and I have done a terrible job. Okay, you get 5. So if you guys don't realize, you have 5 tiers. So you have tier 1, which is 1 through 4 agents. You open up tier 2 at 5. Tier 3 opens up at 15. Tier 4 at 20, and 25 is tier 5. And a producing agent is anyone that sells $3,000 of commission every. They just moved it. It was 6 months. Now it's 9 months.
You're really gonna test my knowledge.
No, well,
no, they did. They moved it to.
They moved it to 9 months. So it's great, but. People, you can't just collect bodies. People have to sell something. And I've had all these lines, like so many people, and I was only earning on line 1 and 2, and it was still making me 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
And now I finally opened up line 3, and I think this month I should kick to like 15 or 20 a month.
Yeah.
Just think about that number I said though.
Yeah.
That is so much money.
So cool. Well, and I just pulled up because I'm really bad at checking all my numbers. I was actually in Florida and Templeton, like I don't even know if we want to tell this story. We'll tell it a different day.
No, tell it.
Okay. Well, so I'm not an active selling agent. Right. And so I have to sell a home every
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months.
It's moving to 9 months. It was 6.
Well, I did have a referral going, and then
you earn yours on referrals.
Yeah, I forgot, you guys. And so I'm sitting at dinner in Florida, and Temp calls me, and he's like, hey, like you just went and you just locked or whatever.
Yeah, you just locked.
And I'm like,
and if you lock, you guys, you don't earn.
Yeah, and that, like, I was literally about to get a $14,500 something check, and I was like, oh, like, you know, I've had a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, like that sucks. I just like totally fucked up and lost like $1,200 or something. And this was, I was like, oh, this one like really hurts.
Yeah, that's 14 grand.
So I kind of like started sweating, and I was at dinner with a bunch of my friends, and anyways, we got to figure it out. I still had time. And we had
like 24 hours though to like solve this.
Yeah, I had to solve this problem. And so I solved it. But the funny thing was, all my friends at dinner, I was at a mastermind with them and for the weekend, and they all put reminders in their calendar to remind me to sell a house. Yeah, you gotta go sell a house time.
But you know what? It's what I love though about like our relationship too and our skill sets is like, even though you're not producing, like an active, your skill set around community and growing, like coaching, growing, you have chapters. I mean, you're making income in so many ways that most realtors aren't even privy to that they could do.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I've been in the real estate space for a decade, but like no one's coming to me and saying, Kristen, how do I buy or sell a home? Like, how do I help people with buying and selling? And I'm like, that's not my value, you guys. My value is really helping people that already understand how to sell real estate. That's why I have so many high producing, real estate agents that want to join me and team leaders, because they're looking for opportunities to expand their network. And so there's a space for everybody. I think that I hear a lot of times, like, people will tell you like, oh, if you want to do this, you have to do, you know, X, Y, Z. It does not have to be a one size fits all. You can build so many different ways. And I've just really leaned into that.
Well, you've crushed it. And our collaboration has been awesome, because whenever anyone needs anything that's in your wheelhouse, how great is it for me to be able to be like, hey, Kristen, can you help with this? And you're like, of course.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, because I think most agents right now understand, at least at its core, how to go be good realtors.
Yeah.
Like if it's just standard listings, standard buyers, there's a lot of coaching out there around that. Real honestly has some of the best training I've ever seen in our platform. There's
and it's only getting better.
Yeah, it's crazy because they also incentivize top agents. You know, they can earn stock to share their thoughts and share what they've learned.
Yeah.
So just the online portion of that is so good. But when you have your unique skill set to teach, and then what I teach, and then we also have the support to help you go be a regular realtor.
Yeah.
Now you have this 3-prong approach where you can earn money 3 different ways.
Yes.
And really attract.
I will tell you too, one thing that has been my favorite experience over the last 9 months is I felt like for 5 years that it all fell on my shoulders. So we talk about passive income when you're building revenue share. Well, I felt like if I stopped doing what I was doing within the brokerage, that it would just all fall apart and it wasn't passive. What I've learned at Real is that I am the extension cord, not the power, right? And so what's really cool is the brokerage is the value proposition. And I am just like a cherry on top. Like I am not the value. And so yes, I have value to bring to them, but it's not all about that. It is actually like, I'm so happy to sell Real. And you said I don't want to sell anything that I don't align with. And it's so true when you're just like pumped about like, oh my gosh, I know that a new agent, a producing agent, a team leader, somebody that wants to build a network, I know all these people are going to thrive on this platform, and I'm able to tell people about that, and they come over and I see it happen. I'm like, I want to get in front of that.
And you know, the other thing I love is, one, I don't want to sell something I'm not in line with. I just won't. I like selling something that's easy to sell.
Same.
Like,
same.
I don't want to like have to like ninja sell NLP, you know. No, thank you. I just want you to want what I have and to deliver it to you.
Same.
And then I get to be the bonus, or I get to be the cherry on top. And then I think one of the last things I want to leave people with before we move on to our next podcast, because we're going to have a guest on, is this model, because Real flipped it on its head and you earn the most on line one, it's not just for the big builders, right? Like, in other models, I think you can go win, and mathematically, if you open up all lines and you go do that, you're going to go win.
Yeah.
Well, what about the agent that's going to bring, maybe just open up line 2 and they bring 5 agents?
Totally.
And I call it this 5x5 model. If you have 5 agents and they bring 1 person, so now you have a 10-person org. Mm-hmm. If that fully vested out, like if everyone's sold through, that's $38,000 a year in passive income.
Yeah. That's
insane.
That's so doable.
And I've seen it firsthand in this down market.
Yeah.
I've had friends and agents I brought over that got $2,400 or $2,700 that they needed that month.
Yeah.
And they only had 2 agents over. They brought a couple people over that sold, and they're like, holy crap, Tim, I'm getting a $970 rev share check.
Yeah.
Off 1 deal.
Yeah.
Because that top line pays the most.
Yeah.
Or I've had some rev share just 1 deal because it breaks down in your back office every deal. I've had big deals close on my line 1 that have paid me $2,000-$3,000. I'm like, oh my God.
So cool.
So it's awesome. Like, you don't need to go grow a 270 or a 500 and whatever or a 2,000 person organization to go make real money.
Yeah.
The everyday realtor can put a little bit of attention on it and create meaningful passive income, which is exciting.
Yes, it's so exciting.
We haven't even touched on stock. We haven't touched on any of this stuff.
Don't worry, we will. In our episodes, we'll always be able to touch on something that's really great at Real.
So I think, you guys, if you have questions on Real, shoot us a DM.
Yep.
What's your handle?
At Hey Kristen Cantrell.
Okay, perfect. I'm at Templeton_Walker. We'd love to chat with you guys. This is a huge focus for me.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife this morning, it's our anniversary today. We're having breakfast. And I was like, hon, 36 months. Like, I'm going all in on this.
Yes.
My microwave money can't go anywhere. And I'm probably going to never stop doing that because those are great businesses. But 36 months, I want this to be one of the most special things that I've ever built.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. Me too. It's going to be a fun 36 months.
Let's get it.
All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.